Awesome. Welcome back to this week's class. A little bit more of a flow and vinyasa practice for us today. And I was thinking about it, I wanted to do compass pose, which is essentially where you put your foot behind your head. I know I joke about it, but this would actually be the practice for it. But then one of my friends posted something recently being about, not always about what are you learning and growing and doing, but perhaps more so, what are you unlearning? So today's practice is coming back to basics, working on the chaturanga, so your vinyasa flow, because it's been about 6 months now that we have been here in quarantine, practicing from home. So let's make sure that we don't perpetuate any injuries and that we take care of ourselves. So today's practice, you might want one block, totally up to you. Make sure everyone's on. There we go. Yeah, one block if you want it. Here is the playlist. We're going to get started lying, actually child's pose today. First, hitting the playlist, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And make your way down into your shell stretch, your child's pose. So if you do have a block or a pillow or something, you could always place that underneath your head, especially if your hips are already feeling pretty tight. Allowing everything to be heavy, weighted, but supported by the ground underneath you. Taking a big, gentle breath in through your nose. And then exhale out your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Take a big, gentle breath in. Exhale, let it go. If you're using any props, moving them out of your way, place them to the side of your mat. Bring yourself on up to tabletop, gather your knees underneath you. And then start to introduce any movement in your spine. So as you know, that could be cat-cow, could be a little more freestyle. Enjoy these first few moments of moving slowly, waking up the body. So maybe be a little bit more gentle on yourself, noticing spots that may feel a little more tender than usual. 5 more breaths on your own, whatever you need. And then coming back to stillness, bring your knees a little bit further back behind you. Lean your chest more forward. Turn your biceps slightly forward. Keep that bend in your elbows. Look down at your hands. Can you push down through all 10 fingertips? Find a lift through your core. So this is your foundation for your chaturanga. You're lowering halfway or all the way and then coming back on up. And chaturanga actually means your forelimbs staff pose. So your forelimbs could either be from your toes or your knees, and then your hands. And think about it and being one energetic line from the top of your head to your knees or your feet. I don't know about you, but my core is already waking up here. Maybe you want to straighten out one leg, maybe straighten out 2. Ta-da! High plank. Stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Push back, down dog. Pedaling out your heels. Shift however you need. If Ujjayi breath is part of your practice, audible inhales in and out through your nose, you can begin that now. Bend deeply into your knees. Shins are parallel with the ground. Shift your bum back, and then use your inhale, straighten out your legs. Exhale, bend your knees deeply again. Shift your bum back. Inhale, straighten. 2 more times. Exhale to bend. Inhale, straighten. 1 more time. And straighten. Walk your feet up towards your hands. Forward fold, top of your mat. We'll begin our practice with Chandra Namaskara. That is the moon salutation. Hands on your hips, elbows high, push down through your feet. Inhale, root to rise. Hands release down beside you. Inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on your shins, flat back. Exhale, fold. Shift the weight into your right foot, step your left foot back down and long, lower your knee. Inhale, arms sweep up. Maybe your palms touch, low lunge. Stay for 3 breaths. Last one, breathing in. Exhale, fingertips down to the ground. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step your right foot back to meet the left. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin. Elbows are nice and close. Untuck your toes. Inhale, roll your shoulders up. Very small heart opener here for your cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, push back through child's pose to your down dog. From here, inhale, reach, nope, JK. Walk your feet up towards your hands, forward fold, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, it's a Monday. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing, palms reach up. Exhale, hands down through heart center, back beside. Inhale, sweep your arms up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Shift the weight into your left foot, step your right foot back down and long. Lower your right knee. Inhale, arms reach up, low lunge. Did we just do this side? Hopefully not. I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Stay for 2 more breaths. Trust me, today's practice will be filled with many vinyasa flow. So if we skip one side or do it twice, that'll be okay. Take 1 more big breath in. Exhale, fingertips down, top of your mat. Lift your back knee, step your left foot back to meet the right. Lower your knees, chest and chin, elbows nice and close. Untuck your toes, push your toenails into the ground. Inhale, cobra, maybe a little bit more height, not too much. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, push back into your down dog. Pedal out your heels. 3 breaths here. And as we start to move, know that at any point in time when there's 3 breaths in down dog, you could always take 3 breaths into your shell stretch or your child's pose. Practice with me. Bring your big toes to touch. Deeply bend your knees. And then step 1 foot and 2 to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Find a lift through your core. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing. Arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands down through heart center, back beside. Surya Namaskara A, sun salutation A. Inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step 1 foot, then 2, high or low plank. Right? You can drop down to your knees here. And in fact, I encourage you for this first one, come down to your knees, draw those biceps forward. Think of your gaze as being about 6 inches forward. Use your exhale, bend at your elbows, keep them nice and close. Lower yourself all the way down. Untuck your toes. Push your toenails down into the ground. Feel your kneecaps lift. And then inhale, bring your chest up. This is still a cobra variation here. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Push back into your down dog. Big toes touch. Deeply bend your knees. Maybe this time you want to step, jump, or float your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing. Palms touch. Exhale, hands down through heart center, back beside. We're going to do that, but we're going to add a little bit more in so that we can get that foundation for when we maybe lower ourselves halfway and then reach up. Ready? Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step your right foot down and long. Step your left. Think about those heels are reaching back, a lift through your thighs. So you don't want your bum super high here. You also don't want that chest to come in between your hands. Lower yourself down onto your forearms, forearm plank. So notice that engagement through your transverse abdominals here. A slight tuck of the pelvis. Imagine as if you're wearing a corset here. So finding a lift through the front line of your body. Push your elbows into the ground. So you're trying to bring your shoulders away from your ears. Stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees down, untuck your toes. Bring your chest down. And again, push your toenails into the ground so you feel like your kneecaps are lifting. From here, lift your chest, lift your hands, hovering off the ground. Maybe you can feel your pulse in your stomach. Finding a lift through your intestines or organs. Using the strength of your back. Take another big breath in, lift your chest up a little bit more. Exhale, lower, plant your palms, tuck your toes, push back, down dog. Big toes touch, deeply bend your knees, step, jump, float, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, sweep your palms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms. Maybe this time you want to challenge yourself and you could step, jump, or float your feet to the back of your mat. This time, lower yourself halfway down. Right? Elbows are nice and close. Notice if that head wants to dip. Think that engagement through your core like you did in your plank. From your halfway down, exhale, push yourself back up, high plank. This can be done from your knees as well. 2 more times, bending at the elbows, keep them glued to your side. Exhale, straighten out through your arms. 1 more time. Exhale, pushing yourself back on up. Good. Last one, lower yourself all the way down. Untuck your toes. This time, reach your palms back. Lift your heart, locust. Start by keeping your feet glued to the ground here. Lift is coming through your chest. Think about reaching out through the crown of your head so your chin is bowed towards the ground. Take 1 more big breath in, lift a little higher. Exhale, palms down, push back, child's pose, shell stretch. And so take a sip of water, do what you need to do, come back home to your breath. And again, it's not necessarily what are we adding on here, it's like what can we actually take away? So if you know that you are losing that foundation of your shape or the integrity of it when you lower yourself halfway down, then come down to your knees. What would be greater for you is if you could do the whole practice from your knees, but you maintained that structure. Because what happens is we go, we try and push it, we're doing that. And then like halfway through, we start to kind of lose the integrity. Our stomach starts to drop, our bum goes up. So maybe take a little bit away, take a little bit off here. You might have also noticed that we haven't done any up dogs yet. And that's because that part of the chaturanga, that's a separate shape. That's not part of it. Chaturanga is when you lower yourself halfway down. Then comes the up dog. So we'll start to add that in now. From your child's pose, come back on up into your down dog. Step, jump, float, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, palms touch. Exhale, hands down through heart center, back beside. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step, jump, float. High plank. Option to lower your knees. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, lower yourself halfway down. From here, you don't want your bum too high. You don't want to swan dive. Instead, think about bringing your chest a little more forward, rolling over the tops of your feet into your up dog. So up to you, your knees could be lifted. That's why we found that locust to help find engagement through your thighs. Soft bend in your elbows. Roll your shoulders back and down, away from your ears. And then start to shift your bum back, maybe rolling over your feet, push back into your down dog. Ooh. Let's do that one more time. So shifting your weight forward, coming to your high plank. Option, lower the knees. See, already I'm noticing my shape start to fall, so I'm gonna bring my knees down, chest lifted, take a big breath in. Exhale, lower yourself halfway. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Option to keep your knees down. And then shift your hips back. Let's come back into a child's pose real quick. What a difference it makes when you actually maintain the integrity of the shape, hey? All right. Tuck your toes, push back, down dog. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest, plant it behind your left hand. Right foot pivots down. Inhale, warrior one. Square your chest off to the front. Palms touch, reaching up overhead. Try to push down through the back outer arch of your right foot. One more big breath in. Exhale, fingertips down to the ground, push back, high plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. And then again, inhale, cobra or up dog. Roll those shoulders back and down. Still find that lift through your core. Tuck your toes, push back, down dog. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest. Plant it behind your right hand, left foot pivots down. Inhale, warrior one. See if you can bring your chest as squared off to the front as you can. Maybe your biceps in line with your ears. Big breath in. Exhale, windmill your hands down, step back, higher low plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Big toes touch, deeply bend your knees, step, jump, float, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing, arms reach up, palms touch. This time, exhale, chair pose, send your bum back. Notice if your stomach wants to drop forward. Think about finding a shift in your pelvis, drawing your tailbone down. Bring your big toes to touch, slight gap of the heels, hands together at heart center, big breath in. Exhale, twist left elbow over your right knee. Now take a peek at your knees, make sure they're still in line. And maybe you can send your bum down a little bit more. From here, shift the weight into your right foot, come onto your left tiptoes, maybe step your left foot back down and long. Back knee lowered or lifted. Draw this right hip back in space. Twist from your stomach, good. Look down to the ground. Left fingertips either on a block or the ground to the left side of your mat. Right arm reaches up. So there's a couple of different ways you can take this high revolved lunge. You can maybe start to roll onto the outer arch of that right foot. Rebecca, this might get into your IT band a bit more. Whew. Maybe onto the outer arch of also your left foot. Spicy, spicy. Can you reach the crown of your head a little bit more forward towards the top of your mat? Inhale. Exhale, fingertips down onto your mat, moving the block out of your way. Push back, 3-leg plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Knees lifted or lowered. Exhale, down dog. 3 breaths here or your shell stretch. Come back to your breath. When you're ready, big toes touch deeply, bend your knees with control. Step, jump, float, feet to hands. Inhale, chair pose right away. Heel toe your feet so your big toes touch, hands at heart center, big breath in. Exhale, twist, right elbow over your left knee. Take a peek at your knees. Again, you might have to slide that right knee back just a bit. Send the weight further back to your heels. Shift the weight into your left foot. Come onto the ball of that right foot. With control, step your right foot back down and long. Crescent lunge with a twist. Try and push your left heel back in space. JK, that's your right heel. Right heel back, lift through your right inner thigh. Unravel, right hand either onto the block or the ground. Left arm reaches up. Generous bend in your front knee to start. Could you lift up a little bit more through your right hip? Draw your left hip back behind you. From here, maybe you rotate onto the outer arch of your right foot and your left foot. Can you take a look down at your right arm? Make sure there's a soft bend in your elbow here. Breathe in. Exhale, both hands back onto your mat. Push back, 3-leg high plank. Still push your right heel back in space. Square off your hips. Breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower yourself halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, shell stretch. 3 breaths on your own. When you're ready, bring yourself back on up to tabletop. Gather your knees underneath you and step your left foot behind your left hand. Start to shift your hips back, maybe straightening out through your left leg. What tends to happen is your bum cheek wants to come close to your heel. So again, take away, don't add on. Square your hips off. Maybe what you need to actually do is bring that left heel more towards the top of your mat. Squaring off your hips here. Feel free to stay in this shape, or if you want, you could walk your hands to the outside of that left leg. Can you still try and keep your hips squared off to the front? So slightly pulling your right hip forward, left hip back. Bring yourself back through center. Bend deeply into your left foot, heel toe it over towards the right. And bring your outer arch of that left foot onto the ground. So you're not quite fully in pigeon yet. We're just kind of playing around with it here. So what might look like for you? Here with your back knee lowered, you can shift your weight forward and back. Ooh. Waking up all through the left outer side of your leg. Maybe each time you could bend a little bit more into your knee. And the next time when you're ready, bringing that left foot far over to the right, lowering your left knee down, preparing for your pigeon. But now don't settle into it just yet, because again, this is the part where we add on too much, right? We fall down, we collapse into this shape. So could you stay lifted? Keep your back toes touched, square your hips off to the front. Open your hands out wider. Elbows are turned out, take a big breath in. And then exhale, bend at the elbows, lower yourself halfway down. And as you exhale, you ripple yourself back on up. So find that undulation of the spine here. So playing around with where your edge is at, keeping the movement going so you don't feel stuck. And then maybe when you're ready, you could lower yourself down, untucking your back toes. Great option to have a pillow or a block, a bolster, rolled up blanket underneath you. Just finding your edge and then backing away from it. How can you still be fully here and present in your body? So if you notice that the sensations become too much, your mind start to wander elsewhere. So stay here, present in your body. Maybe draw those shoulders away. Maybe you want to close your eyes. Take a breath in and out. If you're down on your forearms, bring yourself back up onto your hands. We're going to play around with how we get out of this shape today. So tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, lift your hips up, and actually bring that left foot to the outside of your left wrist. So playing around with lizard here, maybe shifting your weight forward and back, pushing through your right heel. And can you try and keep your left knee really close to the outside of your left arm? Push down through your hands, lift your hips up a little bit higher. With control, can you float your left foot off the ground? Yeah, I know, I feel you. And then step it back to meet the right. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Ooh, good job. 3 breaths here. It might feel nice to take a 3-leg down dog, a wild thing. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, draw that knee in towards you. Plant it behind your right hand, lower your left knee down. And again, same thing, trying to play around with straightening out through your hips, bending back in. And once you feel comfortable there, drawing that right hip back in space. Maybe your hands go to the outside of your right leg. You make sure those right toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. Whew. And maybe you want to play around with bending into your right leg and then straightening out. Well, that's spicy. Square your chest off to the front, bend deeply into your right foot, heel toe it over towards the left. Come onto the outer arch of your right foot, foot is flexed. And then here we go, bending into your front knee, shifting your hips forward and then back. You're teasing yourself coming into pigeon and then backing away from it. 2 more times. If you hit that juicy spot, like right in that groin or the back of your hamstring where your glute meet, you could hang out there for a bit. Ooh. And then when you're ready, right knee behind your right wrist, right foot over towards the left side. Sometimes it feels like twister. Try to remember rights and lefts, you know? Hands out wider, elbows wide, take a big breath in, and then exhale, ripple your spine up and down a few times on your own. Can you continue to find a lift through your core? So don't collapse. Help protect your low back. One more time. And then perhaps lowering yourself down, maybe staying lifted. Might notice one side feels a lot tighter than the other, so you might need to shift your hips a bit side to side. You're down on your forearms, bringing yourself back up onto your hands. Tuck your back toes. Shift your hips up. Can you bring your right knee to the outside of your right tricep? Lift your hips up a little higher. Step your right foot back to meet the left. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower yourself halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Last one, I promise. Again, if you need to take this into a 3-leg down dog, a wild thing, whatever you need to open through your hips, please feel free to do so. Walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Heel toe your feet wide apart, sending your bum back. Come into your malasana, your deep squat. Maybe bring your hands together at heart center, pushing your thumbs into your sternum, lifting through your chest. Now think about lifting from the chest, not your chin. So the crown of your head is what's helping you find height here. Could you relax your toes? Stay here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself all the way down. Ooh, soles of your feet touch, knees go wide. Butterfly, folding over your legs. It might feel nice to turn your head yes and no, or make a little half circles. Rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Hands to the outside of your legs, drawing them together, closing like a book. Scooching your bum a little bit more forward, rolling yourself down onto your back. Open your arms wide, windshield wiper your knees side to side. Plant your feet as close to your bums as you can to graze your heels with your middle or index finger. Plant your palms down beside you, roll your shoulders back and down, and start to lift your hips up, coming into a gentle bridge. So here, can you use the strength of your core to find a lift? But then can you relax your glutes? Can you let them be soft? And still use the strength of your legs pushing down through your feet. Holding yourself here in space, stay for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ripple your spine down, go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw your knees in towards your chest, give them a squeeze. And if there's any other movement that you would like to take, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we'll have the next 4 minutes and our final shape of rest. So if you want to find a happy baby, maybe some type of inversion or a twist, the time is yours. And again, I'm going to finish on a little bit more of a gentle note and space for you to choose what you wanted, because it's about what can you unlearn? What can you take away so you can be more present here in your body? Not every day needs to be about striving to put feet behind your head or going for that next big roll or challenging yourself on your mountain bike, your run. Sometimes just being a good human and taking a nap, sometimes that's enough. When you're ready to find your final shape of rest, as always, you know you can lie on your back, your side, your stomach. You could be seated. If you have the space, you could do legs up the wall or even legs on the couch. So whatever shape you find yourself in, maybe starting to deepen your breath. Start to introduce some movement in your body. And drawing your knees in towards your chest. And if you're lying down, you could either roll over to one side and push yourself on up, or rock and roll a few times, bringing yourself on up to seated. And hands in any shape for you today. Close out our time. Use your inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, draw them back down on your back, softening here. Take a gentle breath in and out. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember, it's not always about what's next and what's happening, what you need to do. Sometimes you can just take a nap and check in on your friends. Thank you so much, everyone.